Hi, welcome to our first lesson on reading notes. Today, we are going to learn what the treble clef and the bass clef look like. We're going to learn about some of their differences, and we are going to learn how to read 3 notes on the treble clef and practice drawing the symbol for the treble clef. I'm going to read you a story to start that will explain some of the differences between the treble clef and the bass clef. Here we go. This story is called Meet the Clefs. It was written by me, I wrote the words, and it was illustrated by my friend Anna Nash. She drew the pictures. Here we go, Meet the Clefs. This is a story about a brother and sister who live together in a big house. Bass clef and treble clef. They are very similar, but they are also very different. So let's look. Bass clef lives on the bottom. Bass and bottom both start with B. B, bass clef, B, bottom. Treble clef, t, treble starts with a T, and treble clef lives on the t, top of the house, which also starts with T. So again, you have t, treble and B, bass, t, top, B, bottom. If you notice, in the middle, between them, there is a line and letter C. That is a very important C that we're going to learn about today. Here's C. Bass lives downstairs from C. Here is C. Treble lives upstairs from C. And look, they have really cute pictures on their stairs. Bass is left-handed. When he does things like draw or paint, he uses his left hand. Can you take your left hand and put it on top of bass's hand? And then practice touching your fingers. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4, and finger 5. Go ahead, tap your fingers to match the numbers. Treble is right-handed. She uses her right hand to do things like write and throw a ball. Take your right hand and put it on top of treble's hand. And again, tap your thumb for number 1, tap your pointer for number 2, tap your middle finger for number 3, tap your ring finger on number 4, and tap your pinky for number 5. Good job. Bass likes the color yellow. He only eats yellow food like bananas, lemons, and corn. Treble loves the color red. She only eats red food such as cherries, strawberries, and raspberries. Bass and treble are both musicians. They sing and play many instruments. Bass plays low notes that sound like this. Ta, ti, ti, ta. Treble sings notes that are high like this. Ti, 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 ta, ta. Bass lives downstairs and treble lives upstairs, but there is one part of the house that they share. They share the floor in the middle, which they call middle C. You see, it's a C with a line through it. They will sometimes meet in the middle to sing and play music. So there they are, dancing around on the only floor that they share. We got bass clef and treble clef. When they are done singing and playing at middle C, bass walks downstairs singing the alphabet backwards. C, B, A. Treble goes up the stairs and sings the alphabet forward. C, D, E. I'm giving you a minute to look at the pictures. The two clefs live in different parts of the same home making music, both equally talented and both sounding beautiful. Thanks for visiting Treble and Bass Clef's home. Come back soon. So, if you look here, you'll see one of our clefs. Which clef is this? Is this treble clef or bass clef? Right, it's treble clef. And I want you to notice that treble clef lives on 5 lines. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines. And I made them different colors so that you could see it a little bit more easily. So today, we are going to learn how to read 3 notes on the treble clef. Now, the first note we're going to learn how to read is the note that's in between the treble clef and the bass clef. Do you remember what note or what floor bass and treble clef share? Right, they share middle C, and it's called middle C because it's in the middle of the treble clef and the bass clef. And so in order for a note to be on middle C, we have to put its own special line. So I'm gonna put a few lines to show middle C. Making sure you can see all of them. Yes, you can. And then this one broke a little bit, but I'm gonna put it there. Here you go. And now I'm going to place some rhythms on middle C so that you can see it doesn't matter what your rhythm looks like. It matters where the head of your note is. So if we look at our notes have a head and a stem. We are trying to make sure the head is on our middle C line. That's how we know it's middle C. So I'm going to show you that there are different ways for notes to look like and still be middle C. It just has to have the head on that line. So when I put these 8 notes, I need to make sure that this line is going right through middle C. And it is, right? So watch this. I'm gonna make some extra lines. I'm gonna cut them up right here. Gotta be careful with those scissors. Okay, all done. Now you can see that the line is still going through our 8 notes. Right through the head of the notes. So that is on middle C. This is called a half note. And look, you can see that the line for middle C is going right through the head of the half note. So that note is also a C. Here's a quarter note. Guess where I'm gonna put it? Am I gonna put it here? Am I gonna put it here? No, I'm going to put it so that this line, which is middle C, is going right through the head of the note. See, if I draw my finger across, it goes right through. I have one more note to show you. This note does not have a stem. These notes have heads and stems. Head and stem, head and stem. This note only has a head, no stem. But we know that the head of this note, if we want it to be C, is going to go where? Is it going to go here? No. Is it going to go here? No. It needs to go with the line from middle C right through the head. So all of these notes are C. They're all C. The eighth notes, the half note, the quarter note, and the whole note. They all are C because they're all on that special line. So that's the first note that we're learning is C. Are you ready for our second note? All I'm going to do is move up one note. So I'm leaving the line, but now if you notice, the head of our note does not have a line going through it. Look, now these notes are no longer C, they are D. They are underneath line 1. They do not have a line going through the head. The line is above it. So these are D. This half note is D. This quarter note is D. And this whole note is D. We are going to learn one more note. I'm going to move our notes up one more time so that now they are on line 1. Line 1 is going to be going through the head of all these notes. I'm going to put my finger on the number 1 and I'm going to draw a line all the way through, and you'll see that my finger is going right through the head of the notes. Right through, right through, right through, right through, right through. All of those are E. So today we learned about 3 notes. Are you ready? The first note we learned was C. The second note, which is underneath line 1, is D. And then we have E. So our 3 notes that we learned today are C, D, E. Let's do a quick practice together using an app called musictheory.net, and you can practice and see if you can figure out what the notes are, and then I'll give you a page to practice drawing the treble clef. Here we go. So this is a website I like to use to practice reading notes, musictheory.net, and you can practice this at home. I'm going to show you right now how to set it up. You go to musictheory.net. You put your arrow on exercises, and then you click on note identification. All of these will come up. Mine is already set up. I'm going to reset the score. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on this gear, and you're going to click on clefs first, and you're only going to choose treble clef. Let me go backwards. You're going to click on range, the second part, and you're only going to do middle C to E, the first line. And then you're gonna, these will probably be on, you gotta take the accidentals off, put the note filter on, and we're only doing C, D, E. Everything else should be empty and only C, D, and E should be blue. So now what you're gonna see is a note that comes up. And using what we have here, right? We know it's C, D, E. Let's look at this note. This note has its own special line going through it. So we know that this note is C. Good. Oh, this note is underneath line 1. Look at that, it's underneath line 1. And we said the note that's underneath line 1 is what? C, D, E. D, right? So this is D. And then it went back to showing us a note that has the special line. Which one is our special line? C, D, or E? What note is this with the special line? Right, it's C. And then this note is on line 1. And we know if it's on line 1, it's E. So you can use this website to practice figuring out what the notes are. Ta-da! Look at that. I'll give you the link, or you can follow the instructions in the video. Now you will have time to practice tracing your treble clef on the next slide. Enjoy!